Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Dynasty Football Strategist. Today we have our third installment of the Prospect Profile series. In the first Prospect Profile video, we learned about Marvin Harrison Jr., and in the last video we learned about Malik Nabers. Well, today we have my wide receiver 3 of the class, Rome Odunze. We're going to figure out what he's about and what's going to make him an elite X wide receiver in the NFL for the Chicago Bears. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you, and with that being said, let's get into the video. Alright, my wide receiver 3 of the rookie class, Rome Odunze. Fun fact about him, he was raised on a farm, so he's been working hard ever since he was a little kid. He was picked in round 1, 9th overall to the Chicago Bears, and he is 22 years old, so he is slightly older than the other prospects we've spoken about, but that is because he's a late declare. What that means is he declared as a senior as opposed to being a junior like Malik Nabers and Marvin Harrison Jr. While usually that's something you would hold against a wide receiver because that would theoretically mean that they dominated as an older prospect against younger competition, I would give Rome Odunze a break here because his freshman season was cut short to 4 games due to COVID, and that's something completely out of his control. He is, however, 6'3" and 212 pounds. He's a physical specimen at wide receiver, and he dominates and bullies cornerbacks. Don't leave him one-on-one, or you will pay for it every single time. So moving on to his collegiate stats, his freshman year, like I said, was cut to 4 games due to COVID, which is completely out of his control. He did have 6 receptions for 72 yards in those 4 games, which is quite impressive for a freshman. He was playing with Puka Nacua, so he had NFL-level talent on his team with him as well. In his sophomore year, he had a bit of a better year, which I would really consider his freshman year because of the lack of experience he had. He had 41 catches for 415 yards and 4 touchdowns, which is really solid for essentially his first game action. In his junior year, he stepped up in a big way with 75 catches for 1,145 yards and 7 touchdowns. This was his major breakthrough, and it put him on the map, and if he would have declared there, he would have probably gotten second round draft capital, but boy is it a good thing that he stayed until his senior year. So in his senior year, he really broke out. He had 92 catches for 1,640 yards and 13 touchdowns as the centerpiece of an offense that had 3 NFL-level wide receivers in Jalen McMillan, Jalen Polk, and Rome Odunze. One thing to note is that Rome Odunze put on 15 pounds of muscle, which really helped him bully the cornerbacks and gave defenders no chance in any contested catch situation. So what do the industry leaders think of Rome Odunze? Well, NFL.com's Lance Zierlein gave him a 6.74 prospect grade, which is a year 1 starter and isn't too far off from Marvin Harrison Jr. and Malik Nabers. CBS Sports' Dave Richard gave him a 92.6, which is an all-pro rating, and as the number 3 overall wide receiver, just like I have him. So he's in elite company, even if he's the 3rd wide receiver. And one thing to note is in most classes, Rome Odunze would easily be the wide receiver 1. So don't mistake his talent just because he's ranked at 3. Let's get into some film here. You'll notice on the first catch, Washington sets up a tunnel screen for him. Watch as he breaks 3 tackles and stretches into the end zone. This guy is powerful. Let's watch a replay. And notice how he has no hesitation. He takes off to the end zone. In this next clip, notice how he stacks the cornerback on a fade route. And if I haven't mentioned it yet, he is a my ball receiver. That means it is his ball, no one else's, and when he's in the area, no one else stands a chance. Alright, so against Cal, Rome Odunze is running a streak, but Michael Penix turns it into a fade route because he notices that Rome Odunze has outside leverage here. And note the way that Rome Odunze is able to turn around after tracking the ball on his inside shoulder to be able to catch it on his outside shoulder. This is magnificent stuff. This is top of the line ball skills. So Rome Odunze strikes fear in defenses vertically. So what he does here is runs a comeback route, and notice how he immediately turns upfield for yards after catch. He is so physical, almost no cornerback stands a chance to tackle him one-on-one. Here against Boise State, he catches a slant route and he's wide open. He turns upfield for more yards, and while he does fumble, there are 7 defenders there and he gets the fumble back too. So Rome Odunze doesn't really have any ball security issues, so this is the only time you're going to see something like this on his tape. So here against Michigan State is an excellent example of Rome Odunze's elite ball skills. He has the best ball skills of anyone in the class and has some of the best ball skills I've ever seen in a prospect coming out of college. This is a prime example of Rome Odunze's my ball mentality. Notice how he bullies the cornerback here on a fade route. Part of what makes Rome Odunze's ball skills so elite is his ability to box out defenders and set himself to be in position where he is the only person with a chance at the ball. Watch here as Rome Odunze absolutely suns the defender guarding him. He has no chance at the ball in any way, shape, or form. And that's not even mentioning the elite body control he shows here to pirouette for a catch. Notice here at the last second how Rome Odunze uses a slight push-off to create just a little bit of separation to be able to catch this fade route against Oregon. Have you noticed a theme here? No one defender stands a chance against Odunze one-on-one. It is a wrap if you leave him one-on-one on the outside, especially on a fade route. And this is another prime example of him and his elite body control. And note here, he throws the defender at the end. This guy is so strong and has such great ball skills, there's just no way to guard him. You can't do it. I mean, if this isn't enough evidence to show you that he can't be guarded one-on-one, I don't know what I could possibly show you. And you guessed it, more of the same against Washington State. I don't know why they think they can cover him one-on-one. It's a terrible idea, and you will lose every single time. When he runs a fade route, you need two defenders. There's no getting around that. So once again, he's running a fade route, and he has outside leverage here. It's his ball, and it's not even bad coverage. There's just nothing the defender can do about it. It's a free touchdown anytime you leave him one-on-one on a fade. It just is what it is. Oh, and don't you worry, I saved the best for last. Look at this. What do you do against this? How do you defend this? Like I said, one-on-one coverage is just a terrible idea. He mosses him with one hand here. There's just nothing you can do. Just accept defeat if you don't commit two defenders. I don't know how many times people have to do this over and over again and they never learn. And one thing to note, this was during his sophomore year. He hadn't even put on the 15 pounds yet. He was able to do this without the 15 pounds. This guy is unstoppable. So, looking at reception perception stats, courtesy of Matt Harmon, please give him a follow. He's amazing at covering wide receivers. He covers every single route for NFL wide receivers. If you'll notice on the left is his route percentage chart. He primarily runs corners, outs, posts, digs, and curls. He doesn't run quite as many 9 routes, flat routes, slants in those. But, take note of the right side of the screen. A fully green route tree in terms of success by route. That means he is above average at every single one of these. He's the first rookie that Matt Harmon has ever covered to have a completely green route tree. This guy is a weapon on all 3 levels of the fields, and it doesn't matter what he runs. It is a smashing success, and he will moss anyone in his way. So, if you look at the wide receiver hit rates from Peter Howard, and you look at round 1 specifically, there were 78 first-round wide receivers, and Rome Odunze, being picked 9th overall, falls under this category. If you take note, 16 of those 78 wide receivers had a top 5 season, 27 had a top 12, and 38 had a top 24 season. This equates to 20.51 having a top 5 season, 34.62 having a top 12 season, and 48.72 having a top 24 season. He is an elite company, and with the requisite draft capital he received, he is well on his way to posting multiple elite seasons. This guy is a stud, and I haven't even gotten into the situation he's in yet. Just wait for that. Alright, looking at some of his career stats. You'll notice he had the 4th best PFF receiving grade in the class. He He did have the 19th best passer rating when targeted, but that's because Michael Penix, when in doubt, would just chuck it up no matter the situation to Odunze, which you could definitely see in the film. He was first in receiving yards among the prospects in this class, as well as tied for 9th with 20 touchdowns. He averaged 2.74 yards per route run in his career, as well as 16.7 yards per reception, so once again a deep threat with a high yards per route run. Great stats for him. And he was 40th in targets per route run, but this is primarily because Jalen McMillan and Jalen Polk, both NFL talented wide receivers who were picked in the 2nd and 3rd round respectively, were also part of the passing attack. So there was just so much talent there that it was hard for him to get that many targets compared to some of these other prospects who were just the only options at their schools. So it's not really fair to judge him in that regard. Moving on to his projected role in the NFL. He is absolutely going to be a number 1 target. He's going to play on the line, but he has positional versatility. He can win from any position, whether that be X, Y, or Z. He will, however, mostly be an outside X receiver. So what this means is he's going to be on the line of scrimmage asked to beat man press coverage, which, by the way, he excels at, as well as just about anything you could ask for in a wide receiver. One of the complications, though, for this year is that the Bears also have star receivers in DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. So Keenan Allen is on a 1-year deal, and he's 32, so he's not really a long-term threat to Rome Odunze's target share. DJ Moore is, however, but DJ Moore is more of a Z off-the-line receiver. He can be an X receiver, but he definitely is not Rome Odunze, and Rome Odunze's position here is going to be clearly defined. He is going to be a target hog. And guess what? Caleb Williams was drafted 1st overall to the Bears, who is an elite quarterback prospect. Things are looking great for Odunze's long-term future. So where is Rome Odunze ranked in fantasy for me? Well, I have him in the tier with Drake London and Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill I give a slight edge because he's going to give you the immediate points per game of an elite wide receiver one. He is, however, aging out, and he won't be around forever. Now, Drake London is on an ascending offense that got Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix, who, by the way, was Odunze's college quarterback. And if you could tell anything from the college film you just watched, Michael Penix is a slinger. So I'd give both of them the nod just for now, but Rome Odunze definitely has the long-term upside to easily pass these guys. The only reason Rome Odunze isn't just slightly behind Malik Nabers is because he's in a crowded receiving room for right now at least, but being connected to Caleb Williams for most likely 5 years and possibly way more than that can't be understated for his dynasty value. And I'm more of a long-term thinker. I understand that everybody wants to win now, but that redraft mentality isn't good if you're going to pass up on value just because someone isn't in an immediately great situation. I would definitely take 5 years of passes from Caleb Williams over some of these other guys. I definitely wouldn't pass up on Rome Odunze just because he's not in an immediately great situation. Once again, if this was generally any other class, with maybe the exception of the 21 class with Jamar Chase, he would easily be the wide receiver one, and it wouldn't be close for me, at least in recent memory. So, looking at Superflex rookie ADP derived from late May, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going at 1, Caleb at 2, Malik Nabers at 3, Jaden at 4, and Rome is going at pick 5. So, in a 10-team league, I would be fine taking him anywhere from 104 to 106. I would definitely rather have Marvin Harrison, Caleb Williams, or Malik Nabers, but it is definitely not just a consolation prize to get Rome Odunze here. He is an elite player, and like I said, in almost any other class, he would easily be the wide receiver one. The long-term outlook with Caleb Williams as his quarterback is absolutely fantastic. They're going to score a lot of points. And I personally took him at 105 in a 10-team Superflex, just after Marvin Harrison, Caleb Williams, Malik Nabers, and Jaden Daniels, and I couldn't be happier. By the way, I also got Caleb Williams in this draft, so I just happened to walk into a stack, but I'm definitely not complaining. So in a 12-team league, I would be comfortable taking him at 105 to 107, depending on your team needs. I wouldn't take him ahead of Marvin Harrison, Caleb Williams, or Malik Nabers. I could justify it over Jaden Daniels, but due to QB scarcity, I would probably rather have Jaden Daniels in that format unless I was set at quarterback and I couldn't get anybody to trade down a spot with me. But it's definitely not out of the question to take him at 4 in a 12 team if you really need wide receiver and no one will trade down with you. So this concludes the prospect profile for Rome Odunze. He's my favorite wide receiver in this class, and he's going to be an elite X receiver for the Chicago Bears. Is there anything you agree with, disagree with in the video? Please let me know in the comment section. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you and have a great day.